A nice little mixture of charming moments and some funny moments in this episode of Mushoku Tensei Jobless Reincarnation. I'm on episode 7, and yeah, nice little focus on Edis apparently having a party coming up and that she had to prepare for. Apparently, it's kind of a tradition for their 10th birthday that they dance, in front of everybody, and I guess it's more like a to show how ladylike she is, kind of a showing of her successes, so to speak. And that didn't quite go over as well as you kind of hope it would. But yeah, it kind of opens up with Grislane. Grislane was talking about how Edis has achieved a good point in her training, even though Rudy hopes that he is as well. Doesn't seem like it. Some quick jumps to some more training. Apparently, at some point, one of the other ladies confronts Rudy and says, "Hey, look, Edis has got a dance for this party coming up, and she needs to do some training." And Rudy says, "Yeah, that's fine. You can take one of my training slots for Edis, and that'll obviously give him some time to do some much needed studying that he wants to do." Uh, Turns out this. Well, you already kind of knew that this particular household really likes their beast people. But not just them. They're in the library. Rudy ends up finding a whole bunch of different languages, books, training books. One being the beast talk, beast god talk, or something like that. Also, some demon tongue and god tongue. He says that the god tongue is similar to regular human tongue, but and that he could seek out help with the Manor guy and Ghislaine to really learn the beast talk. But the one that he's really struggling with right now in the episode, he was struggling with the demon talk, and it's kind of, I'm kind of a little worried as to where this is going from here. It seems like he's studying in a lot of different languages, one being a demon tongue, and so he seeks out the help of Roxy, and Roxy ends up sending him back a letter and actually hand writes a book to help him study, which was great. I have to admit that I still feel a little uncomfortable, and I really don't like the scenes anymore. The shots of Roxy being stuck with this prince who's just constantly just rubbing her up and down, which technically in a setting like that there really is nothing you could do against a prince, even though she technically does. She sets him on fire, which is great that is thrown in there. But yeah, I feel sad for Roxy. I miss that she's not in the show anymore. In the brief moments we get to see her, she's being harassed by a dumb prince. So, but it was also funny because he at some point, I don't know why, decided to sell his figure of Roxy. I thought that was like a trophy of making of her. I'm not sure why he would have gotten rid of it. That of all things. But somehow that figure ended up in the hands of the prince, so that was kind of funny. He sells it to the marketplace and ends up somehow in another country in the hands of the prince. That's all over poor Roxy. They also had a really quick scene where Rudy had ended up hearing somebody having sex upstairs in a tower. Ended up being the grandpa of Eddie's with one of the beast girls, and after this kind of awkward introductions, the guy is looking out the window at some random object that's floating, and Rudy's like, "What is that thing?" He's like, "I don't know what it is, but it's not a bad thing." Like he acknowledged, he's saying that basically this weird, it's almost like a ball with two rings around it, almost like a Saturn, but not really. And but like I said, he said it's he doesn't believe it's a bad thing, but he doesn't know. And Rudy's like, I guess that's a good way of acknowledging it, to not assume that it's a bad thing. And he makes some goofy prayer about hoping that women rain from the skies. What was cool is that when the lady initially asked Rudy to go, can you go get Edis and bring her back to train, he kind of runs out and finds her at a haystack, and she's like, well, I don't believe I need this skill. And he's like, well, she said, why do you try so hard to learn things? Because he's like, yeah, I don't always achieve everything. And she's like, well, what do you mean? You achieve everything? He's like, no, I'm currently trying to learn all these different tongues, and I'm not working well at it. But he said that the fact that he is struggling with it makes him want to try all the more. And this kind of inspires Aegis to give this another shot, seeing that he's not flawless, her flawless trainer. He actually has things that he has to struggle with, same as she does. She decides to go, but only if he goes with her. And so they start training together, and eventually it comes time for the actual birthday party, and everybody's gathered around. She comes, they bring her out there, and they of course, say, okay, who's gonna dance with her? And then a prince comes up, or some random pretty boy comes up and offers to dance with her, and they quickly trip and fall. It's a very uncomfortable scene, kind of seeing her standing there, everybody kind of mocking her name, saying that she's a failure, and of course the predictable aspect of this, of course, is that Rudy ends up stepping up to dance with her. And it was nice that it wasn't just like immediately, okay, it's working out, so everything's perfect now. No, he's kind of like, no, she's nervous, she's messing up still, and so he kind of just throws in their training, sword training aspects into their dance, and that ends up making her feel comfortable and able to sidestep and dance around, and they have a nice little fun dance in front of everybody. It was really sweet. And of course, like right after this scene, they had like this whole group of girls suddenly like, "Oh, Rudy, hey, Rudy, how's it going? How old are you?" Just trying to get on him. And the father of Eris like walks by and says, "I didn't really want you to stand out, but I'll let it slide this time. Make sure to wear protection if you bed one of them." Like, oh my gosh. Oh, but unfortunately, Eris wasn't gonna let that happen. She pretty much claims him and pulls him off to the side. But yeah, it was really, really cute scene. It just kind of seeing how Eddie's kind of finally acknowledges how great Rudy is. She's like, yeah, Rudy's amazing, isn't he? Because he really did kind of save her in that situation. And even though he's saved her before and it didn't change her, it was kind of a different thing with this one. And it's so funny because you have that kind of contrast. He saved her before from the kidnappers, but she didn't really make anything of it. She failed. He pulled her out of it. Her pride would not let her accept that. They move on. With this particular scene, it was her father and her grandfather was watching. So she had a lot to lose. Like, it almost feels like at this moment in her life, she had more to lose than back here when she was kidnapped. And that acknowledgement was really sweet. It was a really cute scene. Watching them dance together, really well animated, and it was just a really nice little moment between the two of them. Following this scene, we had Rudy give the wand to Ghislaine and Eris. And at the same time, Eris looks to Ghislaine and she's like, well, I think that she wants to get a gift from you too. So Ghislaine gives her a ring, and the ring was supposed to be like a ring that wards wolves. And she's like, but it's just superstition. And he's like, well, how do you know that it's superstition? And she's like, well, it was given to me, and then we were at the lake with your dad, and he's like, no, I don't want to, I don't want to know. Stop there. I don't want to hear anymore. So it's insinuating that it's supposed to keep men away, wolves. And of course it cuts forward to Ares wearing it in the bed of Rudy, and he's like, well, I guess it didn't ward me either. So kind of calling himself a wolf at the same time. There's really a lot of really cute moments this episode. Like I said, a very, very charming episode in the midst of usually where it's just either comical and action or drama kind of mixed in. It was a nice bit of, yeah, it technically was drama with the heaviness of Eris possibly failing in front of her family and the rest of the people in attendance, but it still had that kind of really charming nature in the fact that you have, yeah, Rudy comes in and saves the day, but it was something that she was able to overcome herself. She just needed somebody to kind of, point in the right direction, which was really great. So kind of a little bit of everything. Had some goofy, ecchi moments with Roxy and Eris. We had a lot of good comedy kind of mixed in there. Some good drama points, great animation points, and also a nice little kind of another little what's this moment with another random object in the air. I'm seeing a pattern with let's uncover the world. Oh, floating object. Oh, this episode is a floating island where this warrior is hiding out in, and now it's like a floating Saturn just hanging out there. But it is what it is. I've been really enjoying it. Still a fantastic show. Great direction, great writing. Everything's all mixed in there as one. I am curious to see what's going to come of Rudy knowing how to speak demon. Maybe he's going to get a demon harem character added to his group. We'll see. But a lot of fun moments. Really enjoying it. And as always, if you guys enjoy these impressions of Mushoku Tensei Jobless Reincarnation, please hit the subscribe button, leave a like, leave a comment, let me know what you thought of the episode. We have technically 4 episodes left, and then we have to wait until I think summer is when it's going to continue on. So let's enjoy these next 4 episodes before it all disappears from us for a while. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed, and y'all take care.